right, we are going to get started here. Hi, everybody. Today's webinar is Save Time and Get Organized with Systems. It is super important these days. I don't care who you are. There's too much to do every day, and we have to be smarter in order to get everything done. And also, you cannot grow your business without working on systems and processes. It is just impossible. In fact, I read a lot of books, and one of the books I was reading at one point talks about like growing a business is building systems and processes. You can't grow your business and get to that next level without those systems and processes in place. Just a little housekeeping. If you have any questions during the presentation, type them into the chat box and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation during the Q&A. We also have Taylor here with us today, and if you put something in chat, she might answer it or I might answer it as we're going through the webinar. On a scale from 1 to 10, how overwhelmed are you feeling right now with your business? So I want you to put it in chat, if you don't mind, from 1 to 10. 7s. Yep. I think, working smarter is the key. Are you exhausted from doing everything and have limited time to focus on what you do best? We all want to be working within our superpowers, right? You want to be working, doing what you love. How many more projects could you deliver if you had better systems in place? Really think about that. How many more projects could spend time doing what you love if you had better systems in place? And I like to focus too on systems because obviously you can hire people to help you, but like it's so much more efficient and less expensive to have systems and processes and software in place than it is to have somebody manually doing it, whether it's you or somebody else. And if you are hiring somebody or you have somebody working with you and there is systems and processes in place, they can get more done for you. So it's having systems and processes in place for your whole team, not just you. Having systems in place such as software, automations, templates, integrations will save you time and get more done and create a better client experience. There is so much that you have to do when you're delivering projects and just running a business that if you're doing it manually, like every time, and you don't have these things in place, you're going to miss things. It's not going to be a great client experience because you're going to miss things. Quality control is going to, not be as great. You're going to, it's going to take more brain power, more energy on your end or on your team's end to remember, and go through that whole checklist. If you have it all in place, then it's going to give you peace of mind that you don't have to recreate it every time. It's going to save you time. It's going to be so helpful. If this is your first time getting to know us, in the photo here is Ashley Blazing and me, Debra Scarpa. We help interior designers transform their brands and their websites to get found online, win their dream clients, and work smarter by streamlining their processes. Our team guides your business to success with custom branding, logos, websites, local SEO, social media, email marketing, online ads, and improved processes. I see Darcy is saying, I've got them. It's just getting them all set up and ready to go. It's a lot right now in setting them up. Absolutely. It is more work setting them up, but it is so worth it, because once you have them set up, then, then you can use them over and over, and it is going to save so much time. The other thing that I really want you to think about is not trying to make them absolutely perfect and not launching them because you're reworking them and reworking them. And the reason why is, get them like 80-90% done, and as much as you can, review it, launch it, because what's going to happen is once you start using it, you're going to want to adjust it. And then also, as your business grows, a lot of those processes are going to need to be updated, because they will fall apart at some point or need to be adjusted. As your business grows, you're going to grow out of the systems that you have, and you're going to need to change them. I always, for a lot of years, I thought that once you built the system, it was like built, which is so wrong, because you grow out of it, or for whatever reason, it changes. Software changes. Everything is constantly changing. It's always about, improving those processes. This course is approved by NKBA. We are super excited about that. You will need, if you're reporting and you need CEU credits, you'll need the course name, the instructor, the delivery method, the number of CEUs. Will also be sending out a certificate with the recording that you'll have to turn in. And Taylor just put it also in chat. So today's agenda: marketing systems, sales systems, operations, finances, your superpower, what energizes you. And then also, if you haven't taken advantage of it, we'll give you a link. I know Taylor will put it in chat for a free brand website SEO audit. I really try to offer you a lot of value into what's working and what's not working, for your business online. So work smarter, not harder, with software, automations, frameworks, templates, integrations. Absolutely. And I want to say that, like, sometimes, I always hear pushback of like, oh, I don't want to sign up for that software. That software is too expensive. Maybe, maybe not. I want you to really think about, how much time that software will save you, and how much it will help you deliver a better result. So, just today we signed up for, some software that was quite an investment, but it's going to give our clients better results, and it's going to save our team a ton of time. So is it really, is it really going to cost us, or is it going to save us and give us better results? Right. So I want you to think, when you're thinking about, setting up all these systems and software and things, I want you to really think about, is the investment worth it? by not just looking at the cost of the software or looking at the cost of the setup of whatever it is, but really reviewing, like, how much time is it going to save me? How much, better, like, can you deliver a much better product or customer experience because of, what you have set up? Whether software, templates, whatever it is, integrations, automations, like, if you're providing the client with better end result, with better customer service, you'll probably get more reviews, right? More referrals, so it's a win-win. And I want you to really think about that when you're trying to decide if you should invest in these things or not, because it's just top of mind since I was just going through that. And the software that we just signed up with was quite an investment. But when I look at the results and I look at, the time that it's going to save our team and how that software can also help us scale up then and offer that service, like, for less of an investment on our clients' end and get them better results and save our team more time, absolutely, like, it is worth it. So just wanted to share that with you so you really have that mindset when you're looking at those things. I also want to share with you, when I'm looking at growing a business, we follow a book called Traction, and it really talks about putting your business into 4 buckets: marketing, sales, operations, finances, right? So marketing, think about marketing systems and processes and templates and everything. And then sales, the same thing: systems, processes, operations, finances. Every quarter, we are work with our team, and we're really involved in a mastermind group. And one of the things that we do every quarter is we look at these 4 buckets: marketing, sales, operations, finances, and really identify which bucket is the one that is doing really well and which ones do we need to work on. So if you need to work on providing your clients with a better customer service, right, or a better end product, then maybe it's operations. If you realize that you're getting a lot of leads but you're not closing them, maybe you need to work on improving your sales process. If you're seeing that, you're not as profitable as you would like, then maybe you need to work on improving your systems and processes, or raising your rates, or bill differently, or, there's a lot of different ways that you can improve your finances and those processes and systems. Or marketing, let's say you're not getting enough leads. Is it that your website isn't communicating all the value you're offering? Or are you not doing something monthly consistently to drive leads to the website? What is the biggest issue? How do we identify what is the biggest issue and then work on that for the quarter as how do we improve that bucket? And if you consistently do that, like we've been doing that every quarter for the last 9 years. So we're always picking which one needs to be worked on most, and then work on those systems and processes to improve that bucket. Don't try to do it all at once. Pick an area, work on that, then the next quarter, pick another area and work on that. So we're going to go over each of the buckets, and I'm going to give you some ideas on systems and processes that could help you guys be more efficient. One of the ways is, I know creating content is always really a struggle. And I know because you guys are really busy, it's always a struggle. I really want you to think about, you know, using some of the tools and software to help you create content. And I also realize that a lot of designers are not writers. They are creatives. They are visuals. Some of them are, but we have a lot of designers that are not writers. Absolutely, like working with some of these tools can make it so much easier. Let's say there's all these apps, Slack, Notability, Notes. There's, you know, Notability and Slack are paid apps, but Notes is, you know, free. Everybody typically has some type of software on their phone where they can click, you know, click here, click the microphone icon and talk into their phone. So let's say that you're, you know, at a job site, you finished talking with a client, you were working on solving some type of problem that's happening with the kitchen, and you came up with some good ideas. You could go in your car, before you forget, bring up your phone and talk into your phone about what the problem was, how you problem solved it, you know, what the results are, and tell a little story about it. That story, and maybe even take some pictures, you know, that story can be a great like social media post or the beginning of it, right? Obviously it will need to be improved, but you can give that information to the marketing team you're working with, or, you know, use it later for yourself. But that's a great way to start creating, you know, an outline of content, because what typically happens is, you know, when you don't do this and maybe you wait till the end of the week or a couple weeks later or till the project is finished, and then you sit down and you're like, oh, I need to post this new project that I just got photographed on my website or on my social media, or, you know, send it out in an email. And now you have to think back about, you're going to forget. I think most people are going to forget. And this way you'll be like, oh, I have all these notes about the project and great content to write. If you use a tool like Slack, I know it is a little bit more of an investment, or you could even do it in Notes, but I suggest that for each project or each client, like for Slack, you can create like different channels. So like we have a different channel per each client, right? Even in Notes, in any of these, you could create a different note for each project. And that way, when the project is done, you have all these notes all together about the whole project. And you can give that to a team, and you don't have to be sitting there writing it, trying to remember, because that's so hard to do. Another tip is create content using assets you already have. So think about, you know, a process checklist. So when you're working on putting your systems and processes in place, you should have, for, let's say, a kitchen, you're going to have like a process checklist, or you should. If you don't, you should be creating one, right? That can be something that could be changed into a lead magnet, or like product samples. That could be a social media post, new trends, client stories, right? All of that. You have so much content that if you just stopped for a moment and really thought about it, like, wow, like I just created this mood board or these product samples of, let's say, tile samples that look gorgeous together. That can be content that you could share. People would love to see that. Also, create content in blocks of time. That can also be more efficient. I don't know about you, but like when I am working on something, I really need, like, if I work on it a little bit and then come back to it, like it's hard for my brain to like get into it. I really need a big chunk of time in order for me to really focus and think about what I'm writing or what I'm putting together. It's just so much more efficient than, trying to work on it half an hour a day, because it takes me some time to focus and get into what I'm working on. So block off some time. Think about working on your business just the same as, you would need to set time aside to take care of yourself so you can show up to be 100%. You also need to put time aside to work on the business so you can grow. Because if you're always just working in the business, not taking care of yourself, not working on the business, right? You're not going to grow, and it's just not sustainable. And I am so passionate about this because I've owned my business for a lot of years, and for many, like I've owned my business for 35 years now. For many years, like my younger years, I didn't really work on systems and processes. And like, to my credit, there wasn't the tools or the software or any of it that there is today, right? But I didn't have the ability to use software and everything like we can today. But it was very difficult. Like, I couldn't really get to that next level because I was just constantly working in the business and not working on the business to help it grow. So I'm super passionate about it because, I'm sure everybody wants to grow and get to that next level. And this is the way to do it. So one thing that is super important is being really organized. And one of them is having a system for organizing your files. So don't assume, like, if you're just putting all your files in a folder and they're not labeled and they're not organized, it's going to be very difficult for somebody, whether you hire somebody or you're working with a marketing team, for somebody else to come in and be able to, know what all the photos are about. So if you put them in a folder and label the folder, label the photos, have everything together, then it's going to be super easy. Even your notes that you created, right? It's going to be super easy for somebody to grab that information. And it's also going to be less expensive for you guys. So I know for us, like, we work on time and materials typically for a lot of our projects. And if somebody is really organized and has notes and has like their photos and everything organized, it's going to take our team less time. It's going to take you less time. The results are going to be better, which is going to attract, more clients. Like, it's going to help your marketing. Your marketing is going to be better. So think about it. It's going to save you time, save you money. It's going to save the team that you're working with or whoever you're working with. It's, otherwise, if it's unorganized, they're going to be going back and forth, and it's a waste of everybody's time. So use social media scheduling software. Loomly, Hootsuite, Tailwind, there's a lot of different ones. But I know that for social media, they are tracking like how much, like when you're looking at social media, they are tracking like who you're connecting with. They're tracking, how many times you post, what you're posting, all of that. So it is important to be still looking at social media and trying to connect with people that you want to work with. But for scheduling your post, absolutely, like, use software to make it more efficient. Another huge time saver is booking leads using online calendar software. I'm a huge fan. Before we had like software, I would always be spending so much time going back and forth trying to get somebody on my calendar, where now, you can just send them a link to the calendar. The other huge advantage is having a calendar on your software. So, on your website, sorry. So think about, if your ideal client is searching online, it is so competitive online. Let's say they're looking at Google reviews, they're opening up the websites with the best Google reviews, and they open up your website and you don't have an online calendar and your competitors do. They're probably going to have a meeting, like, they're going to be on their calendar first and have a meeting with them before you have the opportunity to talk with them. There are multiple studies that say, like, whoever the first person is to talk to a lead, they're more likely to sign up with that person. And they might be, they might not even reach out to you if you don't have an online calendar and your competition does. Make it easy for leads, your ideal client, to have a conversation with you. You don't have to have every type of calendar on your website, but at least one that's a qualification call. So not an in-person meeting that is paid. I think that you need to have a conversation with them before you go show up at their house, right? But a qualification call, just to make sure that the project sounds like a good fit, they sound like a good fit, and then from there, schedule the in-person call. But absolutely make it easy for them to have a conversation with you. And they're also probably looking online at trying to find somebody to work with them in the evenings, on the weekends, when you're not available. And we don't want them to have to go back and forth and wait until Monday or the next day. You might lose them. We want to make sure you don't lose them. Use automated appointment reminders. I'm sure when you signed up for this webinar, right, you got reminders. If you've ever scheduled an appointment with me or our team, you're going to get, email reminders and text message reminders. Absolutely. People show up for more appointments if they have reminders. Everybody is super busy and people are forgetful because there's too much that they have to remember. So having those reminders really, really helps in how many people show up. And if they do need to reschedule, like we typically have multiple reminders, and like the day before the meeting, I'll send out a reminder, an automated one. And, if they do need to reschedule, a lot of times they'll be like, when they get the reminder, oh, I need to reschedule. So it's not like I'm waiting at the meeting and then nobody showing up, right? So it definitely uses my time more efficiently. And even in the software, they can usually click a link. A lot of times they'll reschedule themselves. And I don't even have to be a part of that. Going back and forth without calendar software or appointment reminders, there's a higher chance that you're going to lose that lead, because people just get busy and they forget. And, then it can be really hard to get them back on your calendar. Sales systems and processes. So manage your contacts with CRM software. So have a place that you can work on building a list of your contacts. It's huge value. People that you've worked with before are more likely to buy from you again or give you referrals, right? So, or a lead, that maybe isn't ready now, might be ready in 6 months. So you really need to build that list, have a CRM software. We use Go High Level. Love the software. It is technical to like set up yourself, but we set it up for clients and train them and everything on it. And if you're not that technical, it can be set up and just running in the background, with like calendars and automations and everything too. And it also does like email marketing, but have some type of system. It doesn't have to be Go High Level, just have some type of system that is going to start building a list. That list is huge, is very valuable. Use one tool for all your communication. So one of the reasons, and software is always changing, so there might be other solutions out there, but I know one of the reasons why we started using High Level is just because it does text messages, email messages, and email marketing like all together in one software. So you can communicate with leads and it's all together instead of having text message on your phone and an email in your Google, in your Gmail account, and email marketing and MailChimp or whatever you're using, right? So having it all in one place, I absolutely love. It's so much easier to manage. And also you can set up automations that are sending both text and email together. So it's not like two different systems. It's like when you book an appointment, you get a text message reminder and you get an email reminder, where other systems we used to use, like we could only send an email message and not text. I find that text messages get a much higher response rate. Store custom information in your CRM. So what I mean by that is like, when you have a form on your website and it's collecting specific information about your, your client, maybe what type of project, or, whatever you want them to fill out, like that, all that information pretty much on any CRM can be customized. So it's just not like the standard name, phone number type of thing. We can customize the CRM to collect any type of information. And just to be clear, like CRM software is typically used for sales and marketing. It is not project management software. I wouldn't try to, make it also project management software, because it's not. Like we use ClickUp for project management software. There's a lot of different types of project management software. But absolutely, like the CRM for sales marketing is super important. Use a sales pipeline in your CRM. So you can build a sales pipeline and see where all your leads and projects are, right? So it's a good way to like track where everybody is, so you don't lose leads, because what can happen is, somebody's interested and maybe they canceled an appointment and then you didn't get them back on the calendar, or you forgot about them, right? Because you're busy on your project. And, if you had them here, you could put them under follow up, right? Or you gave them a proposal and then they, they didn't move forward. Well, maybe they're ready to move forward in another 3 months or 6 months. Maybe they just were waiting, got busy with some other things. So this way it gives you a quick view of where everybody is out. Use one-off email templates. This absolutely can save you so much time. So for example, now one-off email templates, is if you're going to send an email, that you have one pre-made that you can bring up that is already written out, and maybe get you 90% of the way there. Maybe you want to, add some content or make some changes, but you don't have to start from scratch. Even if your systems and processes, no matter what they are, get you 80-90% of the way there, at least you don't have to start from scratch. Because if I'm having to start from scratch, I'm busy, I'm thinking about other things, and then I have to think about what to write. It, takes my brain a little bit of time to be like, oh, I have to go get the link for the calendar. I have to like figure out what to write, instead of just grabbing a template and being like, okay, it was great meeting you. Here's a link to schedule a time, right? So much faster. I have multiple types of email one-off templates that I use, and even having like, I know I said that we use high level, but a lot of software has this, that you can use tags, like a tag for the first name. So you don't even have to type that in. It's going to automate, any type of field that you're collecting with information, even, information about the project or whatever, you could have as a tag, and it's going to bring that information in. Use an email template to get Google reviews. Absolutely. Like, it's super important to have a systems and processes in place to get Google reviews. It is hard for people to know what to write. It's hard for them to know, like, where do I go to give a review? you know, so giving them a link, giving them instructions for how to write a good review, all those things can really help you get better reviews and get more reviews. And Google reviews are super important. Create one-off text message templates, the same thing as the emails, where I have multiple like text message templates that I reuse all the time. And, you know, I use them and then I maybe make a few changes and they really save me a ton of time. Send and schedule messages to multiple contacts. You know, I'm not sure what other CRMs have this feature, but I know that High Level has, but software is changing all the time. But in High Level, like you can select multiple people. Like, let's say these are all different people. Let's say these are all people that I want to follow up with, right? I can check which ones I want to send, and it's sending the message to multiple contacts, but it's sending them individual. It's not a group email. It is individual emails that have the same messaging. Okay, I can do that. Like, let's say it's Thanksgiving and you want to just send a message quickly to everybody saying Happy Thanksgiving. You could select everybody and you could put together a email just saying, you know, I'm thinking about you and I wish you a happy Thanksgiving with your family, and send it. And you can even schedule it out. Let's say you schedule it out for the day before Thanksgiving, right? And then it'll automatically send them, can save so much time. Or you need to follow up with several people on a project, you can select just those people. Hey, I'm checking in, following up on our project to get an update. Here's a link to my calendar, you know, and then sending that out. Something else that is a better user experience and save time is having a sales deck. So a sales deck is like we created in like Google Slides, but having a professionally branded like sales deck that you can go through as you're talking to the client. So let's say, you know, this is one that we did for Linda. So here's like the cover. And if you were going to use it for a sales deck, you would just take out some of the slides. So let's say you would have the next slide, you know, the 3 uniques. You'd have a slide about services, processes, samples of work, some information about you, any associations or, you know, anywhere you've been published, you could have that information, right? It helps, it makes you look super organized, professional, and it also helps keep you on track with the conversation and has more of a professional like presentation feel to it. Can, you know, close more clients. Operations, use project management software. There are multiple ones out there, you know, find one that's a good fit for your needs. Absolutely, like having project management software is key because like there's so many small pieces to your projects that not having project management software, you can definitely, you know, forget certain items. And also when you're hiring people to work with you, even if it's an assistant, right? You don't want everything in your head. Like you need to have those systems and processes set up before you even hire somebody. You can't expect somebody else to be a mind reader. Nobody is a mind reader, and you guys have so much experience. There is no way that person is going to be, that you hire, is going to be successful, because they're either going to be asking you way too many questions and annoying you, right? Or they're like just not going to be able to do their job because they're not a mind reader, and they would be making a lot of mistakes because they don't know exactly how you would do it. If you have those systems and processes in place, then they'll be so much more successful. Keep your team connected with Slack. So it's a great way to keep everybody connected. I think of Slack as like, it's like text messaging on steroids. Like, it's just a whole different level. And see how there's like channels. You can have like a channel per each client, each project, which helps organize it, which I really like, because then you can just look at the channel and know, and then read the information. Is like you're not digging for it in your regular phone text messages. Document all your processes in an index. So what I mean by that is have one sheet, like this is just a Google sheet, where it has all your different processes, whether it's for marketing, sales, operations, finances. So it's like, who's in charge of that document, like that process? What is the process about? Is it about, how to do, how to design like a backsplash? I don't know, like how to, it could be about anything, but have like, you might have a whole bunch of them that are about, a kitchen or a bathroom design, and then have a link to the document with the instructions, with the process, the owner of the process. That is really important. Like, who is keeping track and updating this process? You should have an owner. And what's the status? Does it need to be documented? Is it documented? I know this is a really old, like ours has changed. It should always be being updated. Like this one is really old. But the screenshot, but just consistently have it, and have it all in one place. This is super important. I'll tell you a story. There was another marketing agency that I was friends with, that I met, and she had all of a sudden a family emergency, and she only had like an hour before she had to catch a flight, and she was gone for a month, and she was pretty high up in the company. So because she had been working consistently on those systems and processes, her team was able to step in and pick up where she left off, right, with the client. So it really saved her. If like something like that happened, would you have somebody that could pick up the pieces and continue working? If you don't have these systems and processes in place, then it's going to be hard for somebody to do it, because nobody's a mind reader. Client intake forms, they can also save a lot of time. Having client intake forms, being organized, using client one-off email templates. We talked about that. That can definitely help again. Finances, Create templates with proposal software. I know I was just talking with somebody and she was like copying and pasting, I think, from a Word document, and she missed copying and pasting like a key part to the proposal, and now is losing a lot of money on the job, right? So make sure, like, having a template with proposal software that you can just like duplicate and you're not copy and pasting, could help avoid that mistake. Because when you're busy, it's always hard to like think about making, that you have everything every single time. Whereas if you have everything in the list, it's easier to take out than it is to add in. Using a proposal software content library, right? So you could have different sections, one for bathrooms, one for kitchens, one, different ones that you can add or take out. Integrate your CRM and bookkeeping software. I know, like, we use a tool called software called Zapier. Amazing. Zapier is amazing. Integrates a lot of software. Integrating is connecting. So connecting to different types of software and exchanging information. So for example, when somebody books a meeting with me, the information the calendar that's on the website is a high level calendar. I'm going to talk about all the integrations, like all the connections. So they fill out that, they select a time on the calendar, and then they fill out the form, which is also in high level. And then once they do that, the calendar is syncing with my Google Calendar. So it's syncing to make sure that I don't have it blocked or I'm not busy, and that I have that time available. And then once they make the appointment, then it automatically adds a Zoom link to my calendar. And then the automations that are sent out to the client automatically have that Zoom link in it. So the email, the text message, they automatically are sent out. And then also that it creates a contact in the CRM, like it creates a profile, a page with their information on it, with all the information like the appointment time and the information we collected on the website. And then it tags them with our bookkeeping software. Like we use Xero, but lots of people use QuickBooks. It doesn't matter, but it can tag them. So their contact information is automatically put in our bookkeeping software, so I don't have to type it in. And then that syncs with our proposal software, so that I don't have to add in. And then it automatically creates a task in our project management software. And so that has all the information. So when I go to have the appointment, I have all the information in the project management software with the task. So there's so many different ways. And then it also like will send the person like, the automations, the appointment reminders and everything like that. So just by, that's all automated. I used to have to do that by hand, and then I used to have to follow up with people, manually, and it took so much time, where now all that happens automated, and it saves a lot of time. It also looks really professional. I want you to think about what your superpower is. So identify what energizes you. We have this little worksheet, which is love, what you really love, what you're love but you're okay at, what you love but you're not good at, what you hate and you're good at, what you hate you're okay at, and what you hate and you're not good at, right? We want to be over here, but obviously, it's a process of getting here and not doing these tasks. So you're looking at operations, and you might want to break this down further. Like, are you in sales? Are you doing the marketing? Are you doing all the finances? Like maybe you hate balancing the books. Maybe that's what you hate and you're not good at, and that's the biggest problem. And so maybe taking care of that first might be what you need help with, or any of these other ones. But really make this chart and then really think about, how can I be more over here and less over here, right? We want to be less over here. What are you hate and really hate and you're not good at? And a lot of times setting up systems, processes, software, hiring somebody over here is going to help your business because you're not good at it anyways and you hate doing it. So you're going to be happier over here and probably more profitable because you're spending more time doing what you love and what you're really good at. So we are huge fans of like trying to stay over here. I know we're all running small businesses, so there is some of this, but really think about what things, I'm always reviewing what things are over here that I could delegate or get, systems and improve the systems and processes so I can be more over here. If you are interested in getting some help, we help clients with branding, websites. We are super excited to be launching a designer masterclass. It's going to be training interior designers on how to market their businesses. We also are offering monthly online ads. And then we do monthly like marketing where we're full service marketing services. Again, I'm Debra Scarpa. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you've learned a lot from this webinar. I'm always trying to give you as much information and education as possible. Taylor will thank you, Darcy. Thank you for joining us. Taylor will put in the link to the audit. If you haven't taken advantage of that, please take advantage of that. Trish, thank you so much for attending. Have a great day, you guys, and work on those systems and processes. Thank you so much. Bye.